Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're continuing our study of the creation account by looking at Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 through 7. This passage focuses on God's rest on the seventh day and provides a more detailed account of the creation of man. We'll be using the New King James Version and providing detailed analysis for each verse. In verse 1 it says, "Thus the heavens and the earth and all the host of them were finished." This verse marks the completion of God's creative work. The phrase "all the host of them" refers to everything in the created universe: the stars, planets, animals, plants, and everything else. It emphasizes the comprehensiveness of God's creation. If we segue into verses 2 and 3, it says, "And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made." These verses introduce the concept of the Sabbath. God ended his work, not because he was tired, but to establish a pattern of work and rest for humanity. He blessed and sanctified the seventh day, setting it apart as holy. This is the foundation for the concept of the Sabbath as a day of rest and worship. It's important to understand that the Hebrew word for rest, Shabbat, doesn't simply mean ceasing from activity. It implies ceasing from labor, from the work of dominion and creation, and entering into a state of celebration and enjoyment of what has been made. It is a time for reflection and communion with God. Verse 4 says, "This is the history of the heavens and the earth when they were created. In the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens." This verse serves as a transition, introducing a more focused account of the creation of man. The phrase, "in the day that the Lord God made," doesn't refer to a single 24-hour day, but rather to the entire period of creation. Verse 5, "Before any plant of the field was in the earth, and before any herb of the field had grown. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground." This verse describes the earth's condition before the creation of man and the subsequent flourishing of vegetation. There was no rain and no one to cultivate the ground. This sets the stage for God's provision and man's role in caring for the earth. In verse 6 it says, "But a mist went up from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground." This verse explains how the earth was watered before rainfall. A mist or spring arose from the ground, providing moisture for the earth. This highlights God's provision even before man was created. Verse 7, "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being." This verse describes the unique creation of man. God formed man from the dust of the ground, emphasizing our earthly origins. But the crucial element is that God breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. This act imparted a spiritual dimension to man, making him a living being, a being with a soul, and the capacity for relationship with God. This distinguishes humanity from all other creatures. Genesis 2:1 through 7 provides valuable insights into God's rest and the special creation of humanity. The Sabbath serves as a reminder of God's completed work and our need for rest and communion with Him. The creation of man from the dust, infused with the breath of life, highlights our unique position in creation as beings made in God's image. Thank you for joining me on this study. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. Leave your comments and questions below. God bless.